Welcome to Quality Sewing and Vacuums April Sew Fun Virtual. We're so glad you joined us here today. I'm Andrea, and these are our lovely hosts today, Sandy, Ann, and Tony. You are going to have a blast. We have some beautiful, amazing projects that they have worked on, and they've got some amazing tips to show to you. If you are new here to Sew Fun online, welcome. We wanted to let you know that we also have been doing these classes live in person throughout all of our stores all month long. You're catching us at the very tail end here. We'd love for you to come in and see us live. There's fun, there's food, there's prizes, right, you guys?
Oh, yeah.
And my favorite part is the show and tell at the end. So join us if you can in person, but we're glad you're here with us today. Please leave a comment or a note if you've got questions down below. And we are going to be giving out prizes at the very end, which is going to be super fun too. So we're going to be taking, we're going to be drawing from the comments and the
Yes, so leave us some good comments.
Yeah, leave us some
Ask
good
us
comments.
questions. Tell us what you're up to.
Absolutely. If you have any questions as we're going along. Now, all these products that these ladies are going to be showing you today are going to be up on our website until next Thursday, April 8th. And there is an awesome code. I think we're going to be putting that right down below where you can see that. It's going to be April 20. So in checkout, you want to put that in the coupon code area or something. So a lot of these things, like I said, will only be up on the website until Thursday. And with that,
Wait, is it case sensitive, April? Upper
is it
or lower?
upper or lower?
Uppercase.
Uppercase April. Okay.
We want you to get your discount.
Yeah, thanks. Good call. Awesome. So we want you to make sure you get your coupon with that. Okay. With that, I'm going to turn the time over to these wonderful ladies and take it away.
Thank you. Well, this is what everybody is seeing, Anne, so I think you should tell us about this gorgeous quilt.
Well, you know, this is May, and this is a beautiful day in the Pacific Northwest, so we're going to show you lots of stuff that you can use in the upcoming months. And one of these is a book that has 11 patterns in it. It is called Pre-Cut Perfect Quilts. And if we turn it around, you get 11 different patterns, and they are less than $1 a pattern. And so there are 4 table runners and 7 quilts. So I'm going to show you about my quilt here. This is a current line that we have in our stores, and it's called Perfect Petal Posies. Okay. And this starts out with a 10-inch layer cake for all of these focus blocks here, and then you add your background. There's actually an A block that has the 10-inch layer cake, and then this is another B block. These are all from the 10-inch layer cakes. They are a 20-patch block, not a 9-patch, a 20-patch block. So the blocks go together really quickly. You strip piece them and you put them together, and it's just really, really fun, and you'll have a lot of fun with it. And you know what? I learned working with these 2 wonderful ladies is you can take these patterns and you can do other things with them. So I'm going to turn it over to Tony, and she's going to tell you about what they have done to kind of use some of the quilt patterns or table runner patterns and do a little bit different about them.
Well, hello everybody. Good to be back here. Hello, Pascal. Sandy, when she was looking at this book, she didn't see a table runner. She made a 4th block, and she made a little baby quilt for her little grandson. Now, how cute is that? You don't have to do a table runner. You can do a placemat. You could make a whole bunch of the blocks and get a whole quilt. This turned out really nice, very colorful, and easy to do. Now, the one I did is supposed to be a table runner. I did not see Christmas. I saw this. I put 4 blocks together, and let me tell you, this thing is like 68 inches long. I don't have a table like that. So what I did is add flange and a border, and I have a beautiful table runner. But this block is big enough, it's a perfect pillow. You don't have to do 4 blocks. You can do 1 block, 2 blocks, 3 blocks, or if you want a really long table runner, 4. But I did a bed runner, so a lucky family member is going to get this maybe.
I'm going to keep this right here a minute because one of the things we brought in were these really cool mini wonder clips. They are 1/8 of an inch at the end. But the thing I really love about them is it's a 1/2 inch from the joint to the very end. So if you're doing a binding, you can pin that on, put it all the way to the edge, and clip your binding up, and you know you have a 1/2 inch binding all the way around. No pins to stick your hands on it or anything like that. They also have markings for 1/4 of an inch, a scant 1/4 of an inch, and 3/8, which is just a little more than a 1/4 of an inch. But the 1/2 inch thing, oh, wow. That is a game changer. I love these little clips. There. So with that, Anne is going to tell you how we stabilized what we used inside of our runners.
Okay. We have a booklet with 5 table runners called Modern Holiday Table Runners. And you can choose different seasons if you would like, or you can change the fabric that you do them out of, and they won't be for holidays. They can be for any time. But one of the things that I loved
Here or there?
This is a chest.
okay, we'll get this down. One of the things that I loved about doing these fun table runners is Warm and Natural. The Warm Company has come out with warm fusible fleece. And it is different than your regular fleece. And what it is, the difference is the way that the glue is applied. In most of your fleeces, the glue is applied by dots. And then you get that kind of wavy texture to your product or to your sample. And this is put on by painting the glue on, so you get a very smooth finish. Plus it is a little bit thicker, and you can notice how the texture on these table runners are a little bit enhanced because of this wonderful product here.
Did you notice how the back side of this has a thicker glue than the front side?
Yes, yes.
So that when you're sewing, normally you pin or you baste, and when you come to an intersection, your fabric wrinkles up a little bit and you end up with little puckers and tucks. But since it's thicker on the back, it adheres better, and you don't have to worry about puckers and tucks on the back of your project.
I am in love with this product.
Me too.
Sandy, why don't you tell them about the 5 different table runners that we have here, and then we can look at them.
Well, we didn't make all 5. Sorry. Anne made this really cute posies. On the back of the pattern, it tells you the sizes. So posies is 19 by 51. And look at this. It's long. It's gorgeous. And then on the back of it, she made an extra posy. Isn't that cute?
I need to tell you also that I used 100-weight thread to quilt this. Now, if you haven't heard about 100-weight thread, you're going to hear more about it in just a few minutes, but it is a very fine thread. It's very it's very strong, and I have used it in quilting table runners and baby quilts for many years. And if you want to get texture, if you notice the beautiful texture here, you can use the fleece and the 100-weight thread, and you've got everything.
Yeah, that's gorgeous.
In a beautiful way.
So I went with the Americana one. You know, if you made 5 or 6 of these, you'd have a quilt. Think about that. This pattern is worth its money. So I made Americana, but as I was making it, I was thinking, what if I took one block and one stripe, put my stripes this way, I'd have a little garden flag or a little wall hanging or a little something extra. And Tony did not see Christmas presents down here, the wrapped up. She saw birthday presents. And isn't that cute? And what if you took one and made a placemat? You know, put your background
Or a mug
around.
rug.
Or a mug rug. You could just, or chair backs, take and make this 4 blocks and put it as a chair back. You could have quite the party.
We have to show them the back of this.
Okay.
It is just lovely. I fell in love with the back. Look at that.
Party hat.
Fun party hat fabric.
Yes, bright and fun. And she just quilted in the ditch around it. You know, you don't always have to do super fancy quilting for your table runners and placemats because things get spilled. That's another reason I really like that Warman double-sided fleece, was because you can sit a cup on it and it's not going to fall over. It's thin enough that you can set things on it, but thick enough that you get the texture.
Well, and one of the things that you need to know about using this is you have to layer the backing of your table runner and then the warm fleece and then your top, and you need to press it all at once. It's a little bit different in how you apply it, but it works great. I love it.
Well, I used a Teflon sheet on the top. I kind of cheated and pressed my back to it first with the Teflon sheet and then my top, and it worked. Worked great. Yeah, so the next thing that we want to talk about is this other little elephant in the room here. These April Showers Bring May Flowers little hangers, and the pattern is by Janine Babbage, which is an embroidery pattern. It's all in the hoop, like this. And this hanger is so much fun. You can make the 3 little individual ones, and I love them all. I was thinking, wouldn't it be cool just to take the flowers and put it on a fingertip towel? Or use your leftover pieces of heat transfer vinyl and sparkle up your boots. Or use clear vinyl and put it on your umbrella so it looks real. The boots and umbrella could go on a little kid's jacket. I mean, you can use these patterns a bazillion different ways. And the hanger that we brought in is this one. This comes from Ackfeld Wire. It's a company out of Missouri, so American made. But you don't only need to use it for these 3 little hangings. If you have a wall hanging that you don't have a hanger for that's kind of a different size, hang it from the 2 outside ones and let it hang down. Or you could hang it from this one and this one if it's, you know, that sized, and tie a couple bows and decorate it up. I thought it would be really, you know, I think it's a really versatile hanger. Plus, it doesn't take up table space, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, for sure.
Really cool to do in the hoop, and I think I just talked about everything that you wanted to talk about.
And that is fine with me.
Sorry, I get carried away on these things. Really, they're fun. Very fun.
I think that the fun thing is because they're done in the hoop.
Yes.
And, you know, you think, oh, these look kind of complicated. They go very quickly. I was so surprised at how fun. And you get not only applique, you get embroidery. So you have some applique and you have embroidery, and it's all done in the hoop. You put the back on, stitch around, turn it inside out like an envelope, and it's perfect.
It comes with the SVG files.
Yes,
so you
it
can use
does.
your scan and cut to cut those little pieces.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm not good with the scan and cut, but I know someone that is. I can get them to cut it for me, right? So coming up next is the Natasha tote. And we have 3 of them to show you. This is the pattern. It's really cool. We brought in these gorgeous faux leathers. We brought in this shimmering plum. We brought in this rose color. And we brought in aqua. So we brought in both a large one, which is 18 inches by 54, and we brought in a short one, which is 6 inches by 54. We did that because if you're going to make your bag like Ann did here, this gorgeous plum bag, you are going to want to use the 54 inches to cut your outside pieces, your pocket piece, and your inside pocket. It has a nice inside pocket here. Then you're not going to have quite enough left for your handles and your tassel. So that's why you want the 6-inch piece to go with it. Whenever I'm sewing on faux leather, you know what I use? My mini clips. Oh yeah, because you can't stick faux leather with pins, right?
Totally.
So, that is a thing to remember. Tony did the two-tone one, kind of like she did. She had the brown faux leather in her stash. So it's a completely unstructured bag, but I dared to be different. I am different, I'll admit it. I needed the big and the small as well. I did the whole bag, but I put an embroidery on the front. Very easy to embroider on faux leather. You just want to choose an open design, and I stabilized it with 2 layers of a heavier tearaway. I put one in my hoop and I put one under my hoop, and I just floated my faux leather. Then, I wasn't done. I needed a zipper. I put in a recess zipper, and I still wasn't done. I had to line it so that I could have more pockets in there. So my bag is a little sturdier than theirs, but I think I will be using it a lot this summer because, I've got all the pockets I need to go places. Do you want to talk about the top stitching?
Yes. One of the things that I love about this bag is, as Sandy said, it is unlined, which is great. One of the things that I liked about it was there was a lot of top stitching. So make sure that you have enough thread, because I didn't. I ran out and had to drive quite a ways to get some more thread. I just used construction thread. Any construction thread works well. And then I love the way that they put the handles on here.
Yes.
Is you use a stitch, and I'm going to tell you about the stitch. There's a couple of options for stitches on your machines. And so I'm going to be demoing that in just a second. But these are very easy to do. It's a 3/4 inch handle here. And then we have a beautiful magnetic snap here. And guess what? This is a carrier for your snap here. And so that is something that I've never done before, and I've been teaching handbag classes for probably 35 years.
I love that it's iridescent.
It's iridescent. And the one thing that a tip that I gave as I was traveling around, when you have to top stitch from the wrong side, make sure you have your thread tails out, both thread tails, hold them, and then when you do your lock stitch, you're going to get a beautiful stitching here. You're not going to get that little thread nest. So that's something that's great. And as Sandy said, I love the pocket here. Let me get this out here. It's a freestanding pocket, and if you notice here, it's only attached where you sew your handles on here. So it's kind of open across here, but it works up great. It has nice rounded edges. So we're going to move over to the...
One thing about these faux leathers, a lot of times they have stretch in them. You don't want stretch in your handles. So a good way to eliminate that stretch is to take grosgrain ribbon. Just take a little glue stick and 1/2 inch grosgrain ribbon and put it on the back side of one of your straps. That way your strap is stabilized and it won't stretch. I also do that all the time with cork because cork stretches. The other thing, when I did my top stitching, I used my mini clip because 3/8 or 1/4 inch you can measure. And if I put the clip right where my stitching is, if it leaves a mark, my stitching goes over it, so there is no mark to try and get rid of later.
I did a double stitch on the top, a double top stitch, because I didn't have a facing.
Right.
You have a concealed zipper.
I wanted all these stitches to really stand out, so I did the double triple stitch, which is like
And I'm going to demo that
1, 2,
too.
3, 4, 5 before it goes on. So 5 stitches and lengthen it.
Okay,
Okay, you get to go to the machine.
I am going
Tony and
to,
I always fight over the machine. Well, we don't fight over it. She always says, I have to do it, you have to do it, you have to do it. So this time I made her do it. Let me
okay,
just say it was a disaster on some days, but it worked.
I'm going to show you how to do a triple straight stitch. Now, it doesn't matter what machine you have, you will have a triple straight stitch from the most expensive machine down to the lowest end of the machines. You will have a triple straight stitch. However, on some of the higher end machines, you will get a double triple straight stitch, and that means you get 6 passes of thread in each stitch rather than 3. But we're going to start out with our triple straight stitch, and I'm going to go ahead and you can see that it just moves back and forth. I'm not even guiding it, just kind of holding it here at the bottom. I think that's enough. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my other stitches and call up my double, triple straight stitch. Now sometimes this will be found in your needle art category, or it can be found in your quilting category on some of your high-end machines here. And you'll notice that it, did I load that?
Just a quick question. How long do you make your stitch length in?
I gotta go back here. I am just using the default stitch. And so I have the other icon and I'm not used to having to load the stitches. Oops, got them. If anything can go wrong, it's when you're demoing. Okay, I've got to get right here. Okay, let's see if that. Okay, you really can't probably see that, but you can notice sometimes this stitch is called a bean stitch, and what it is it has just a little teeny bit of a zigzag, a 0.03 zigzag, and I don't know if we can get a close-up of these here. Can you see the difference between the two? The bean stitch actually looks almost like a little, kind of almost like a little ball stitch that has been stretched out.
I think we have a question.
We do have a question.
Yes, and what foot are you using?
Your machine will tell you what foot to use for that stitch. On this icon, it's a 2A foot. But every machine, when you call up a stitch on your machine, it will tell you what foot to use. Now, an interesting thing that happened when I was doing this is I thought, well, maybe since this has 6 passes, I should stabilize it. It does not work because it has to rock back and forth 6 times and the stabilizer just gets in the way. And so don't do that, but use your stitches. You pay a lot of money for your machines and you can use these stitches. Wonderful top stitching ideas for this bag and for any time you need to do top stitching.
Okay, and the magnetic snap. Did you want to show how to insert a magnetic snap?
Well, I did show them on here. One of the things that you want to do when you're putting your magnetic snap on, this magnetic snap's cover, it's all finished off on the back, but whenever I put a magnetic snap on, what I like to do is I like to cut a little bit of I use a old milk.
Yeah, I'm going to show that.
Oh, you're
I'll
going to
show
show
in a
that.
few
Okay,
minutes.
so you
Yeah.
go ahead and you can
Okay.
show them that.
Okay, because the next up we have the Harlson bags. And they are also very cool bags. Whoop. Let's just throw things around. This one. But these are the bags Ann and I made. The Harlson can be a crossbody bag, like in the pattern, or it could be a hip bag or a bum bag or something like that. It has a zipper on the back for your personal phone or money or whatever, because it's right next to your body. Has a turn lock, or you can put in a swivel clip and a D-ring or a rectangular ring. And it has a zipper on the inside. Stick your hard-earned cash in there so it's really safe. It has, we brought in the hardware for 2 swivel clips, 2 D-rings, and the slider. And that's all in one package from Sally Tomato. So that makes it really nice for you to just grab your fabrics, grab your hardware, and get sewing. I also use Chicago screws here, and Ann will talk about those in a little bit. I want to show you how easy it is to install this turn lock. It is a piece of cake. Your pattern will tell you want to start out with, the front of your bag to put the turn part right there. So this is the front of my bag. You fold it in half, you find the middle, you measure down from the top, however much they tell you. You take your hardware, which this is the package. The first thing you have to do is take this piece apart because your 2 little screws are in there. You want to tape those screws into the bottom of this package or do something to keep those screws from falling away because they're very tiny. Then you take the 2 parts for the turn lock. It's not going to fit in the middle. It's either going to be one side or the other. I mark those with a Sharpie, and my Sharpie marks have come off. But then I center this, and I take a pen and make the 2 marks. Then you want to take your seam ripper and a pin. Very important to have your pin. Put your pin in the top of your line. Take your seam ripper and open it just to your pin. If you don't use a pin, this could happen. Look at how big that hole is. Once my turn lock is in there, you're still going to see that hole. So to fix it, because there's always an easy way to fix things, I'm going to take some of my green faux leather, make an oval, and sew it over the top, and then make my holes again. So the back side, you want to put this piece on. Then normally you bend those out and you're done. But this isn't very stable. It didn't make my bag very stable. So you can either, if you make a lot of bags or postcards or something, you have Timtex or Peltex, you can take those, draw your lines, and put those on. Or you can take a piece of milk carton, make your lines, and put that on. Now, ladies, think about it. Have you ever taken apart a bag that has been ready-made, and you found it at the thrift shop, and it was $300 and some originally, but it's 10 years old, and you found it at the thrift shop, and you take it apart because you love the hardware on it, and you want to harvest that hardware for your next bag. Do you know what you find inside those bags? Cardboard. The inside of your $350 bag has cardboard. It has rubber cement and things glued down. It has tape, all kinds of dumb things. So you can cut a milk carton, put that on, and that will stabilize it. Bring your spikes up through it and press them out. Now if you decide you want to make a silky lining, you want to put something over your spikes once you've pressed them out. I take Shape Flex 101 and press a little back there. You can use duct tape. No one's going to see it. It's on the inside. Trust me on that. The other part is the turn lock part, where the turn lock goes through. That's these two pieces and the screws. Your pattern will tell you to center it once again. So you've centered it. You take this part, you lay it over, you mark your 2 screw holes, and you mark the inside ring. Now only the inside ring. Don't go around the outside. Because, where's my scissors? Here they are. We brought in these really cool scissors. They are Karen K. Buckley. The store does not normally carry them, but they are super cool. They are micro serrated, which you can't see, but I can feel. They are sharp all the way to the point. They are for lefties or righties. And look at the space I have here. You can get your fingers into them. It's not a little tiny hole. So once you've marked that, you want to cut around it, around the outside of your marks. And it's going to cut through the fabric, it's going to cut through the faux leather, it's going to cut through everything and make the hole for you. It's a very sharp scissors. You can use them for quilting, you can use them for garment making. They work great for faux leather, wax canvas, anything you can throw at them. And they have a nice sheath so your family knows, don't touch these, they're yours. So then I have everything done. I take this part, I want to punch holes. You can either raid your husband's toolbox and use his rotary punch. Sally Tomato also makes a rotary punch that has the different sizes. Or you can use the Perfect punch. That comes in 3 different sizes. That's on the website by OESD. Whatever you're going to punch, do not punch on your cutting mat. Do not punch on your kitchen counter or your sewing table because it will make holes. It will muck it up. That's why you get 2 in here. So when you totally bugger one up, you've got a second one to go to. So you just punch your holes. Then you take this, you put it back here. Take a little glue. I like any kind of glue that is permanent and dries clear. Put it around. Put this part on. Put some glue where your screw holes were too. Screw your screws in. And there you go. There's your turn lock opening. You can also see, here's my double triple stitch. I always lengthen my stitch. If you look on ready-made bags, they don't have tiny stitches. 4.0. You cannot iron on vinyl. You have to use your clips. And there's a few other things you might want to use. You cannot, when you're poking out corners and stuff, I love this turning tool because it is a ball point. So I can warm it with an iron, turn it, stick this in, poke my corner out. It's perfect. Poke these corners out with it. They're not bad at all. So there you go. That is how easy it is to install a turn lock. And don't forget your little clips. They're great for holding your faux leather. Just saying. Okay, Ann?
Okay.
And we have a question
Okay.
in regard to what you, your construction thread. They asked, is construction thread different from regular thread?
It's the same thing. Construction thread is 50 weight, and it'll either be 2-ply or 3-ply, usually 2-ply. So yeah, it's 50 weight. It's just your regular thread.
And what does 50 weight mean?
Okay, that's a really good question. Your threads will be, they will be numbered, and the lower the number, the thicker the thread. The higher the number, the finer the thread. And Tony's going to talk about the 100-weight thread. So that's a very fine, thinner thread. It doesn't mean it's not strong. It's a very strong thread. But your 12-weight will be much thicker than your 50-weight or your 100-weight. Does that explain it? I hope I've explained it so that you can understand that.
So just as like a scale, what's like your average regular weight that we carry here at Quality Sewing?
We carry construction thread. We carry some 50 weight thread. We carry 40 weight thread. We have probably some 30 weight thread.
But what's the average?
The average, it depends on what you're doing as far as just sewing, 50 weight.
40 weight for machine embroidery.
Yeah, 40 weight for machine embroidery, 50 weight for construction sewing. Okay? Okay, I am going to show you my bag here, and I did it like it shows on the pattern. We wanted to show you a couple of different ways to do this. And I have a swivel clip here and a D-ring here. And then I have some little carriers here that are made out of vinyl. And one of the things that I love about this bag is that it has a wonderful zip pocket on the back here. You can put your phone in it. And also on the inside, well, I'm just not doing the camera very well right now. This is my first time doing it in a long time. You have a zipper right here. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to show you how you put this little tab on, and what you're going to use to do that is you're going to use your punch like Sandy talked about. That wonderful OESD punch is what I used on my bag here. And what you're going to want to do, I'm going to get my little, this comes with two parts, and then what you want to do is you want to punch your hole through your fashion fabric, through the vinyl, so that it comes out the other side here. And then you have a front to the screw here. And there are their screws. And you have a back. And so you just push this through here. And then you just put the second part in, get it started, and then you use a little screwdriver and hold your finger on the back so you're holding the front of the screw taut, and then you'll see that it just twists down just nice. You don't have to put any Loctite on it. Chicago screws are a lot more sturdy for bags and things like that than your rivets. They're just a lot more sturdy, and that's why we like to use them. And this right here is your package of Chicago screws. And I think you'll find if you use them and you do a lot of bag making and things like that, you'll find that they really do work out well. Okay.
Well, you
I'll
guys
take
are
this.
talking about what I'd like to do is chime in on this OESD. The handheld one, if you have trouble with, arthritis and don't have the strength in your hand to put that piece in and to try to close it, to poke that hole, these things are wonderful because when I put that down, I just press down and I can use part of my weight. And that takes a hole very easily, and I don't have it shifting. But that's what I do. So I love these punches, and you can also get replacement tips. There's a little 3-tip replacement that you can get for the OESD because after time, it is going to get a little dull when you punch through so many. But I love it because I can just like this.
Or if you make an oops and bunger it up, I have done that.
Yeah.
There's your thread, our favorite thread.
Okay, this thread. Anne brought this thread in. She wanted to bring in a 100-weight thread. Ladies, I was skeptical. I had not worked with it before. Sandy had. So I took it home and I played with it. Let me tell you, this stuff is a cat's meow. It is strong. You can sew with it. You can embroider with it. I had one lady buying it because it's so fine. She was going to do her wool applique with it because it disappears into the wool when she's stitching. We got to pick the colors. We've got a dark charcoal, a dark plum, and a dark green, which are neutral colors and will go with just about anything you need to letter. And it's a good way to start if you don't have any hundredweight thread. You're not going to find hundredweight thread in a lot of stores. Usually you're going to have to order it. Quality can get it for you. But this stuff is wonderful for lettering. And Anne wanted it in because of the towels and,
Keep going. Just keep going. Keep talking about the thread and the towels and everything.
oh, everything?
Yep.
No, I
No,
want
but
to talk
she wanted to talk about
some
that
stuff.
And then I'm going to
Well,
show you
stabilizer.
why I love this thread.
I'll get you. I'll get you.
You already have.
You're going to tell them about the towels and
Yeah, I would be happy to talk about the towels because I've been doing these recipe towels. I've done many, many different ones from Lunchbox through the years, and I love to have them on hand to just do, have gifts and stuff. There are 10 different recipe collections. There's carrot cake, there's summer corn salad, there's pesto, pumpkin soup, and we have all of these here. We didn't make all of them, but we made a good selection of them. And why don't you, did you show them
I didn't show them.
Okay, let's do that first, and then we can go on.
This is what sold me on this hundredweight thread. I took one of the Kimberbell towels I'd gotten at Quality that I had, and I did 3 recipes on it. I did the recipe in 40 weight, 80 weight. This is Deco Bob, and 80 weight is what most of your pre-wounds are. And if you know me, I hate to wind bobbins, so I use pre-wounds a lot. This is the 100 weight. I have the same tearaway stabilizer on the back that I took off. You could use wash away. I use the same 80 weight pre-wound bobbin on all of them. But look at the difference. Now the 40 weight is what your Floriani, your Isacord, a lot of your embroidery threads are. Deco Bob is thinner. Usually you see that in your pre-wounds, but look at the difference. This 100 weight, when you put it up, I mean, it looks like I was using a rope because this thread is so fine. It is strong. Even with an 80 weight on the bottom, the 100 weight stays on the top. So now you can see the A's, you can see the O's, you can see an I and not have it look like an L. If you're doing small lettering, anything under a 1/2 inch, you need a finer thread so that your lettering will show. If you're doing Sandy did hankies for her daughter's wedding and put names in that on in real thin fabric. She used 100 weight thread because then it would show and it wouldn't pucker. It is a wonderful thread and I am sold on it. So, and I think it's like $12 for these 3 spools and there's like 400 meters
Oh,
on
you
them.
can get probably six or 8 towels
Off one
off
spool.
of one spool.
But,
Yeah.
but it's the difference in the lettering and being able to see that that this is what sold me. So, is that somebody
Sorry.
calling in?
That's
Somebody
Bellevue
calling
Quality
in?
Sewing calling me. Sorry, I forgot to put my phone on silent. We did bring in 3 different colors. We have charcoal, we have brown, and we have green. And we've used all of them on the towels here. I stabilize a little bit differently. What I use, and we carry this at the store, I use the Floriani Wet and Gone to do my lettering. And then what I do to do the embroidery up here, I float a tearaway stabilizer. And so I have 2 different stabilizations because I feel like I don't want to have to pick out the tearaway right here with all the lettering. The wash away washes right away and it works really well for me. But you know what? Sewing is like a computer. There are 5 ways to get to where you want, and you
same
just
thing.
find one that works for you. So when we do these presentations, we all have a little bit different way of doing things, and that's just perfect because it works for us. So you find something that works for you. We've brought in beautiful towels from Dunroven. These are, we brought in lime, we brought in lemon, we brought in melon, and we brought in
Papaya or mango?
mango. Yeah, this is mango here. So you can see some beautiful recipes here. Well, what I decided to do is I decided to make a apron out of one of the tea towels. And if you want a pattern for this, there's a lot of free ones on the internet. And I did the carrot cake recipe here because this is the carrot cake recipe that I've been making for probably 40 years now. You'll know how old I am when I tell you that. But mine is called 14 carrot cake, but it's the very same recipe. One of the things that I like to do with these is I like to have them on hand. And if you notice right here, where's my pesto? Did it get...
I didn't put it up there.
Okay,
'cause we had so
I
many
have
colors.
one done in pesto. So I've been telling my customers as I've been traveling, you embroider a towel and then you go to the grocery store and you buy a jar of pesto and you wrap it in that towel, tie it with a ribbon, give it as a gift, and people are going to think that you are the best cook and the most creative cook. And so that's why I like these. They do work up really quite quickly, don't they?
Well, the lettering takes a little bit longer. And with 100 weight thread on the smaller lettering, I do suggest that you slow your embroidery
Exactly.
machine down.
Yeah.
I don't ever go at jackrabbit 1,000 stitches a minute
No.
because you're going to have the pulling and it's a lot of stress on the thread. Slow it down. I had no breakage.
Yeah, I always slow my machine down when especially with these because the stitches are just on top of each other because they're so highly digitized to get the lettering, and you're using a very fine thread. So yeah, slow it down just a little bit.
Well, and if you make a boo-boo and you have your towel and you put your recipe on like Sandy over there did, I'm telling the story.
Count on me again.
She put it on and then she realized that it was here. So it's here upside down on her towel. So all she did was take it and she made a tote bag, boxed the corners, stitched it, put a handle on it, and she had a really neat
Oh, that's cool.
gift bag.
Yeah.
It was a happy accident.
Well, sometimes that happens, and we're glad when it does. Huh?
Yes, we are. But
We feel creative.
I am so thankful to have been introduced to this thread.
Okay.
Zippity Doo.
Zippity Doo Don.
Pattern is on the second shelf over there.
Zippity Doo kit comes to make 2 bags. You get all the stuff in it. You get your zippers, 2 zippers. You get the 2 pieces of vinyl that are folded and folded so that when you take that vinyl out and you go to try to smooth it, use a hair dryer to warm it up. It will help to smooth it out.
Yeah.
It gives you the interfacing that has a pattern on it, but you don't have to use that. You could put an orphan block on it, very easy. Although when you're doing it, make sure if you have directional fabric that your flamingos are not sleeping up, sideways. Check it. I was so happy to finish the bag. I turned it over and it was, whoa, okay. We should probably talk about labels right now or I'm going to forget. I am terrible about putting labels on things. I'm sure Ann labels. Sandy labels all the time. My goal this year is to put labels. Why I like these labels is that they're neutral. They are not holiday specific, grandson or granddaughter. They are neutral. They will go on anything for anybody. And it's a good way to start out. And for the price, you're getting 15 tags. You can also take these, fold them in half, and stitch them into a seam, and now you've got a tab. You can also use that as a D-ring tab. Put it through, stitch it in, and then you've got something to clip from. So these labels are great. But I want to talk to them because I tend to forget them because, like I said, I'm not real good at labeling, but I am going to get better because I have these. But the Zippity Doo bags, we got all kinds of things. Yeah, look, these are ones that Ann did.
I really enjoy doing these because I love having project bags. I don't think you can have too many project bags. I organize fabric collections in my project bags, and you get 2 different sizes here, and you can use fat quarters, you can use orphan blocks like Tony said, you can use scraps, and then this is the quilting that you will do on the interfacing, and Tony's going to tell you what to do and what not to do with this interfacing.
When they say don't get an iron next to it, they mean do not touch an iron next to it. It will melt. It's got a poly in it. It works really good as a stabilizer, but don't put an iron on it. Use the roller. If you're doing the flips like this, and what I like that Ann did is when she did that roller and pressed it down, she did a decorative stitch around on it, which was really cool.
And I have my label here. I got so excited I put 2 labels on the back of this one, so I had to cover it up with my card here. But in putting in the zippers here, I'm going to tell you what the pattern says, but then I'm going to have Tony show you what else you can do with your zippers. This is how they tell you to do it in the pattern. You install the zipper, and if I might show this just a second. Okay,
that's the zipper that comes.
This is the Zippity Doo zipper, and all you have to do is place your vinyl in here, flip it over, top stitch it on, and your zipper's in. It is such a fast way to do a zipper. I've never seen this before. I mean, I've seen it before, but I've never, it's just kind of new on the market, isn't it? A couple of years now. They have you put strips here to kind of decorate your zipper up. You can do that. And then also, I used just some jumbo rickrack that I had in my stash. I just had barely enough to kind of jazz it up. And then independent of each other, Sandy and I added handles because sometimes it's nice to just have a handle just to grab. And once again, I have my little label here on the back. These were just fun and they worked up quickly. And then I just bound mine like I do a quilt. You just stitch it on, miter your corners, and you're done.
And don't forget your mini clips.
Sandy put fleece in this one. After I melted my big bag, I did make another one, and I used a soft and stable that you can get through Quality. You can order it. Makes a nice background. You can use your orphan blocks, and you can add that to the back as a pocket. Very easy to do. You can also add a pocket to it before you attach the front to the back. You can actually put a pocket in here on this one. There's a lot of different things you can do to make this bag your own.
Exactly, yes. So what I wanted to do now is I wanted to demo something that we have used all through our presentation, and that is our Gypsy Quilter 12-inch presser bar and clapper. This is a 2-in-1 tool. If you notice here, this is raised up for a reason, and I'm going to demo that in just a second. Whenever you can't touch your iron to something, you need to use a presser bar and you need to use the roller. This roller is the one that we have on our website here. And you're going to, I'm going to show you different ways that you can use that. First of all, you can use it in, do I go here? Okay. You can use it in clothing, you can use it in quilting, you can use it in crafts, you can use it in bags. The first thing I wanted to do was show you how you use it in quilting. And when I was doing my quilt here, how many of you have had the experience of not being able to, when you're pressing your seam out on a flat pressing mat or whatever, your iron gets in the way of the seam that you had already pressed and it presses it in the wrong direction. Notice how this just falls down and then I just use my iron here to press it open. It doesn't affect any of the seams that are next to it. So that's how you would use it in quilting. Also in vinyl, you can roll your seam. Now you're not going to get your seam to lay down perfectly flat, but what this does when you're doing your bags is it melds the thread together and it gives you a very, very beautiful seam here. And if you want them to lay down perfectly, you can use our top stitching method and top stitch them down. Now, as far as the bags go here, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be quilting as you go. These are like paint by number. So you start with number 1, you stitch down number 2, and then you flip it. So it's a stitch and a flip method here. But you can't touch your iron to the stabilizer for the June Taylor project bags because as Sandy said, or excuse me, as Tony said, it just goes like that. How do I know? Many years ago, I touched the iron to it and I had to really work to get it back out. So what you're going to do is you're going to stitch your 1/4 inch here and then you're going to just kind of smooth that, use your roller like this, and you've got it pressed. This is a weighted roller, and so it covers a lot of area, and that's all you have to do to get a nice seam there. Okay, we are moving on.
I would like to show you what Sandy did on decorating her zipper. She took the Zippity Doo die zipper and she opened it up, put some an interfacing there, and she used a decorative stitch on her machine. You've got a gazillion stitches on your machine that would be perfect, and it's a way to decorate that up. Now she's got it so she can slide the piece in, lay it over, and then stitch it down. Also on the vinyl, we brought in the biannies. I love vinyl when it's on a roll or a bolt. I don't like having to use a hairdryer to flatten out and to make something smooth. This way I can roll it off, and for cutting vinyl, it helps when you cut on your, well, we don't have time for that. I got to get to the shirt.
Yeah.
We're almost out.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's an easy way to cut vinyl by using painter's tape and your cutting mat.
We'll save that for another day.
Yeah. The other thing we brought in is this
Tabula Rasa.
I keep calling it Tabula Rasa. Now, you know I don't do hard. This is another one of the easiest, quickest patterns. It doesn't look like much on the sheet, but Ann and I are wearing these. You can do long sleeve, 3/4 sleeve, short sleeve. What I love about this is it looks like an inset sleeve, but it's not. You see here, there's a little seam. You sew the seam together on your sleeve. You attach it to this little inset piece here. And then when I'm putting this section onto the front, I'm not insetting a sleeve. I have a very long line that comes up across my shoulder and down the back. This pattern has 3 different little insets. You can see how that goes here. So I didn't inset the sleeve, but I sort of did. It's extra small to 3 extra large. I like it because I don't care for a dolman that's got a lot of sleeve under here. This has a little bit of give. I have no binding. And those ladies who have a little bit more of an arm there, this is perfect. It's not going to be tight. The only alteration I did is I lengthened it a little bit because I'm really long. There are a lot of ways you can alter it. This has the straight side, which is what I did. This one over here, the brown one, is the flared side, and it has just a little bit of a flare. And then if you can see on the pattern here, there's an inset that goes all the way down and almost like to a point, like a little wing. And that really looks dressy. You can put a V-neck, a round neck. These have just a little band that you end up putting on and cutting. And the pattern tells you, when you get your front and back together, measure your neck, say it's 23 inches. The pattern tells you to cut it an inch shorter to make your band to put on so that this will lay. I found I needed to take almost 2 inches off so that I had it lay nice on the front and the back. There's an AB front and a CD front. The CD, the dart, this is the dart. It's like 2 inches. 2 inches is this dart. Very easy to do.
Totally, yeah.
Totally, very comfortable.
I think that the square armhole makes it fit easier. We as adults
More
or
comfortable.
older people, we don't like to sew a lot of times because of fitting, but I just cut this out, made it up, did not do any adjustments, and I think the reason that it fits as well as it does is because you have the square armhole and you don't have to worry about it pulling in all the different directions.
I liked it well enough. I made 6 of these. And I did 2. I can cut them out and make 2 of them in an afternoon. And if you have a serger, it makes it even faster.
Totally.
And if you don't have a serger, quality will help you out. And those that do have a serger, check out those air threaders. They are absolutely amazing.
Yeah, they
They're
are.
air threading sergers.
And you have a half a minute. Do you want to tell about your neckline?
About your neckline.
This fabric right here is more of a performance fabric. And I tried 3 different times to get the neckline little strip to lay, and I thought after 3 times I'm going to cut a facing, and so that's what I did is I put a facing, I cut my own facing.
Well, it's a knit, but it's a little bit heavier
Yeah, it's
knit.
like-
It doesn't have the same stretch like a thin knit will.
So
But
a facing
looked
worked really
beautiful.
well.
So it's just another option if you don't want to put a band, cut your neck and just put a facing. But very easy to do.
Okay.
Andrea, do we have winners?
Oh, yes, we do.
All right, we like winners.
Yes. So thank you everyone for tuning in today. And you know who we forgot to talk about? Pasco! Everybody wave to Pasco! Hello, Pasco! We're glad that you've joined us
We may
today.
get to be seeing them live maybe at some points, hopefully.
Yes, coming up soon.
Coming up soon, hopefully.
Yes. Okay, we have 2 winners. We have 1 winner from Facebook and 1 winner from YouTube. And you know what's funny is they're both daisy patterns. One's a bag pattern and one's a quilt pattern, and they're both daisy. So everything's coming up daisies today. It's so great.
Because it's
Spring.
Spring.
Yeah.
My yard is blossoming. Okay, our first winner is Carol Wolstad. I hope I said your name right. Down below, you'll see an email address that says Andrea@qualitysewing.com. Please go ahead and shoot me a message. Say, I won the daisy bag pattern right here. The daisy bag pattern. And I think you're from out of town, so please shoot me your address, and I will put that in the mail to you. Our next YouTube winner is Linda Berg, and yours is the Daisy Patch pattern for quilting. So if you too will shoot me your name and phone number, and if you are local, if you will give us your local store, I'll mail that to your store, or if you're out of the area, I will put that in the mail for you with your address. So thank you, ladies.
Thank you for joining us and spending your morning with us.
We will see you next month. I forgot which day exactly, but April.
May. It's May.
It's May.
It's May right
1st
now.
today.
Oh yeah,
But it's go 100-weight thread. Go
Yes.
100-weight thread.
Thank you all. Have a great weekend.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.